Let's clear some of this crap out the top. Hold on. Ugh. Sorry. It's so slow and annoying. There we go. All right. Let's make sure everything is out. Dang it. Hold on. Give me just a minute. Technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. I think everything is squared away. I hope. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be finishing this. So this should be fun. Hopefully everybody enjoys, and yeah. I might download this stream later and try to cut it up a little bit and I'll try to cut it up a little bit and then what was it? Turn it into a short to the best of my ability. So yeah. Also, thank you to I can never pronounce the last part. I know it starts with a K, but I'll just say thank you to B or Sweet or whatever for suggesting me do Princess Peach. Funny enough, I'm going to flat out say it. I did not expect the short for me doing that to get that many views in a matter of minutes. Like even a minutes after publishing that short, it got a lot of attention. So I am really grateful. I'm glad people liked it. I only got one comment though, but I'm glad people enjoyed it. I will do other prints because I'm planning on getting them copied. I want to make sure each one is very detailed and very really I'm happy with it. And then when I'm done, I'll probably what was it? I'll when I'm done, I'll probably get them printed at a store or something, and then I will maybe sell them at a con. Maybe I don't know. Which yeah. gonna try to. I know that probably no one's gonna be here for a while. So I'm trying to talk as much as I can. uh, so it's not as boring, even though I'm probably talking to myself. So, yeah. I'm gonna be finishing this live because I wanted to do that. So hopefully everybody enjoys. Even and also let me know if there's any details or stuff that I'm missing later on. So yeah. I'll probably do more prints like this, like single character prints, and see how well I like it. If it's less since it seems to be less complicated than doing the the posters, which I will be still doing posters, but I think I'm going to be doing those in my own time. And also I will probably do the other two live streams. The Sonic one will probably be after this. When I'm done, I'll probably start that. And yeah. So probably have to darken I figured probably this would be a shitty time to do an art stream, but I wanted to finish this one live because I figured it would be pretty fun. So far, I hope it looks good. I still need to work on rendering some details. It probably looks like crap. I know the eyes are a little bit off. Maybe. And the dress still needs a little bit of rendering and stuff like that, which is somewhat okay. I hope. Okay, so I put a little bit more render into the hair. Respond to that later. Let's see. So if anyone is wondering, I am painting this, so which is a more aguish, not agarish, basically it's a longer process. So for me, I'm working with watercolors, gouache paint, and stuff like that. So for me, it takes longer. But yeah, it's actually pretty fun. Funny enough, I have played only 2 Mario games in my life. I have never really played a whole lot of Mario stuff. Now, granted, it has just been it's just been it's not been a lack of interest on my part. It's just been not having the right console and enough money. Um, but to be honest, that's not really much of a bad thing. Uh, Sometimes you just need the right motivators. Actually, a sub was the one who suggested, and she has a great channel of her own. Was the one who suggested me do this, do Princess Peach. Which, granted, I was kind of like hesitant at first, but I thought, I've done two male characters. I want to try a female one. Then I was looking at pictures, and I was like, huh, so this is kind of a different style than I'm used to. So I thought, this would be fun. Um, I will say, I will say that I have not yet went to go see the Mario movie, the Super Mario movie. I think that's what it's called. Um, I haven't seen it yet. Personally, I think it'd be pretty cool. I might go see it in the future. Or I'll just get it on DVD. I'm not much of a streaming service kind of guy. Um, Personally, uh, I will say, uh, from what I understand about Princess Peach, there was actually a history of with her being more. She wasn't always the damsel in distress character, which I kind of like. I even I think from what I understand, even in the movie, they kind of made her less of a damsel in distress. Like she has her few moments to shine, from what I understand. So that's pretty cool. Um, what else? I'm trying to think. It's actually pretty fun uh to uh to paint stuff. Now, granted, some there's a lot of people that can do different styles. There's like you can do give me a second. You can do markers, like use different types of markers, like stuff like that. Because I have what's it called? This one is I think a Bic sensitivity marker, so you can use that for like shading and stuff. There's oils, so I have like tons, but I like painting for me because like it gives more depth of feel, and I can kind of experiment with like coloring, uh, and fool around with the just the style of it. Like I can get as close as I can to the actual style and still but still kind of do my own thing. Now there's probably other painters that could do a lot better than this, but hey, I my main thing is, hey, there's everybody has to start somewhere. No art's going to be perfect. And the people who say, "Oh, it looks perfect," it's more just the objective opinions of like how something could look versus uh any of that. So that's just me. At least how I see it. uh which is granted. Um Also, I will at some point there I'm going to be maybe depending on time zone stuff. I'm actually going to I'm going to be a part of another artist's live stream, a professional one. Uh at some point. I'll have to talk to him more. And he will if you guys want to see that, if anyone does, I'll be keeping up to date on the community posts maybe whenever that time comes. So if you want to see that, pay attention there. uh, so yeah. Also, uh, I will do the Sonic poster live stream. I know the date's already passed. uh, I'll probably be doing that later on today, working a little bit on that if anybody wants to see that specifically. Um, so, and if anybody is curious, I will recommend, if you are a young artist and you want to get into like painting or any specific medium, especially if you're using if you want to get into painting, try using watercolors first. Now, don't get me wrong. Watercolors are like some people would say, oh, that's just kiddie stuff. You don't. Even professionals use like watercolors and stuff like that. I've been an artist for God, in my 20s, so about around 19 years now. uh, for half of my life. So, and I didn't get into painting. I did it a little and dabbled in it as a kid, but I granted I didn't do a lot of it, but sometimes it takes, like, you have to experiment and find your medium that you're comfortable with and what you like doing. Now granted, that can be difficult. But if you want to get into painting, the easiest I would recommend is starting out with watercolors and like figuring out the technique for yourself. Like sometimes tutorials and YouTube stuff can be helpful. I personally don't find it always very helpful. Um, but granted, some people like it. Some people it helps out some people. So if that stuff helps out you, go for it. One downside to YouTube tutorials is sometimes it can be confusing, and if you have like learning disability, or you have like have trouble understanding and they're not very helpful in a certain extent, know that that's okay. Trust me, I know it for a fact because oh boy, I'm not a big fan of. That's why I'm not a big fan of like the YouTube tutorials of art stuff, because I find them to still be tricky. Even for around, even after God knows how long, years, a couple years now, I'll go and check some out if I'm having trouble with something. Or the best option is sometimes ask a friend. Admit, defeat sometimes. Let go of your pride, because it can be helpful. And I've been doing this for a couple years now, and sometimes I still have to let go of my pride for some things and accept, like, I'm gonna make mistakes. That's like any artist makes mistakes, where you're very critical of yourself or stuff like that, and that's perfectly normal. Granted, it's not a bad thing. I know some people would say that it is, but it is not. And plus, the other thing is sometimes also accept your faults when you're human. That's another one. Because I'm very, I don't want to be too personable here, or just, make you cast judgment immediately. But, from my personal experience, I'm very doubtful of myself. I'm very critical of my every move. Like in anything, even interactions with people. Um, let's see. I just sometimes, being socially awkward or being different, my personal experience can be a great thing, but sometimes it can be a difficult thing because of other people. Sometimes you don't know how they'll take you, which, granted, nowadays, everybody is just not everybody. When I say it like that, it makes it seem like everybody's a complete dick. I mean to say, usually, not everybody's gonna understand or, frankly, care. I wish everybody would. I would be I wish a lot of people would, but personally, not likely to happen, which kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie there. But then again, that's personally why I always was afraid of like just anything in general when I was growing up. Especially, I think dating was another thing. I had so much bad luck, and trying to be myself was more difficult than not, especially when you get as a kid being autistic and stuff. Hold on, let me fix the camera here. Um, he not he girls were very, well, they love to, you know, poke fun at your flaws sometimes. No, not all of them, but sometimes, especially in high school or middle school or every, yeah. I don't want to go too far with this rant, but let's just say I've had my fair share of hiccups, and that's perfectly normal. Don't the real trick is just not letting that crap dictate uh, and ruin your life. Because if you're not careful, that is what's gonna happen. To be honest, you just have to have a balance, and make sure you're happy. Um, granted, everybody has a dark side. Sometimes you can hide bits of yourself where people won't see it because you're afraid of how they'll see you, or they'll see you differently. But granted, living a facade and a mask it won't get you anywhere. Won't get you any brownie points. It only makes you feel worse. Trust me. It makes you feel like it just makes you unhappy. That's all I'll say. I don't want to say too much on it because I feel like this rant's going nowhere, and I don't want to sound like one of those pessimistic people. Also, sorry, the camera is not working today. This stupid camera stand. There we go. Also, if you guys want to, you can leave a like on the stream. I don't Doesn't matter to me none. But only if you want to. Let's see. Let's get. I'm going to try. This camera. To get the rendering of the details right. Hopefully all goes according to plan. I'm if you guys are wondering, if anybody is wondering, I am working on this Princess Peach painted painted uh uh because I'm probably gonna think about selling it. If like at a con or something, maybe. I did a print, I think, the other day, which was, I think it was Nathan Drake from Uncharted. No, no. Yesterday I did Dante, and then the day before, or the day before that, it was Nathan Drake from Uncharted. Um, and then I'll probably do after this. Let's see. I'm trying to think. It's either because a friend of mine suggested I do something for, like, I made a joke, not a joke, but I said that I was gonna probably do something from FNAF being Springtrap, but I was gonna do that after I do Bayonetta, which probably is not gonna happen because of there's so many interpretations of Bayonetta. If you're not familiar, anyone who's underage should not look up Bayonetta. um, until you're around 13 or 14. Because I rather not, you know, it's not a bad character. It's just sometimes some things could get misconstrued, like, oh, she's inappropriate. No, she's just confident in herself. She's a female and she knows it and she likes it. But yeah. Also, if you guys enjoy, you do not have to, but it would help me out personally. So if you want to like the stream, you can. You do not have to, but I would personally appreciate it. But yeah, that's all. I don't want to sound like one of those YouTubers that says, "Oh, please like and subscribe. Please like." No, I try not to do that. Uh, I don't say that much. I like that to be it to be more natural. Sorry, stutter. So yeah. Um, but also, uh, and this is a stupid question, but you guys probably do not have to answer it. You can just answer it, and I can assume it. You don't even have to comment. But basically, out of every Mario character, which one would you say is the best one? And I'm pretty sure you're just watching this stream and you're just saying, Bowser, Peach, this, that. Which is granted is perfectly fine. So yeah. So I also will probably work on another print tomorrow, I think. I think I'll work on another print tomorrow. But I will basically be doing other characters. Like, it's either tomorrow will either be Bayonetta, Virgil, or Nero, or I'll just do Springtrap and say heck with it. Just depends. I think it'd be an interesting challenge to do William Afton, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. If I should or shouldn't just yet. Let's see. Also, if anybody is curious, I will. I use watercolor paints and a mixture of dried gouache, which is just a simple palette, so it's like watercolor. So if anybody is wondering what exactly I'm using to paint this, that is it. What else? Um, if anybody actually ever has any suggestions, I usually don't mind getting them uh in the comments, on the community tab, anything in general. I usually try to leave stuff open for people to, like, if they really enjoy the art stuff on the channel, which I am granted doing a lot more of now. Um, you'll probably see more of that. I'm now granted, if I don't burn myself out. That's one thing as an artist. You're any art is draining. You If you do it enough and you want to make it a profession, which granted I do. The plan is to go to college and do it, or learn more about it and study it, whatever. Um, basically, um, uh, the one thing is, like, doing it enough, it's very draining, and you do not want to burn your candle out too quickly. Um, which can happen. um, which is the one downside, I guess, of being an artist. But it's still always pretty fun. You get to work on characters, like, and do all these cool stuff. Like, you get to let your imagination run wild. Now, you can do stuff from your own head, or you can use a reference and try getting as close as you can to that style of how that character looks, and stuff like that. So, like, now, granted, not every time, like, every time you paint or draw or whatever, is it going to look the way you want it. It's not going to. Granted, I'm going to be brutally honest. There's been plenty of times where that's happened to me. I'm here, actually. The first few attempts at doing this peach painting, it was actually going to be a lot smaller. I had proto sketches. Each one, I was going to do, like, different poses. I tried thinking of, like, stuff, and then I just decided to do this one because it felt, it's easier, and I can be as detailed as I want and not have to worry about, it's more quantity over quality. And another philosophy that animators use: KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Which, granted, is a pretty blunt philosophy, but, I'm not much of an animator myself, but I have seen and talked to, actually, one of the channels I'm subscribed to is an animator herself, and a pretty darn good one at that. I think I'm trying to remember her name. I know there's a Spider. Spider is something. Spider something. I can't remember. That's not the name being Spider something. No, that's just me trying to remember the name. And failing. um. So, yeah. Also, while I'm still just blabbering on, it feels like I'm talking to myself, but I'm pretty sure some people enjoy listening. Basically, it's always great to not let people dictate what you want to be. Now, granted, parents, they make mistakes, that, like, if they want you to be something, you know in your heart what you want to be. Don't be something for anybody else except yourself. That's something that I've had to go turn to, like, basically come to grips with in my life, where people always have expectations, whether it's not just like parents, but like people in general, whether it's someone that you're thinking about dating, or teachers or classmates or stuff like that. um Everybody, granted, will always have expectations of what they expect and stuff. Now, granted, it is not, you don't have to be over rebellious, and have to say, well, heck with your expectations, I'm doing my own thing. No, you have to find a balance, because sometimes expectations can be good, but they also can be bad. If you basically, expectation wise, if somebody expects, like, they want you to be something, and you don't personally want to be that, you don't have to be. Trust me. A lot of people expected me, when I had a growth spurt, I was going to be in sports, I was going to be doing basketball, I was going to be doing this. And then when I chose art, like, I started doing this, they were kind of disappointed, like, what? Well, heck with what those people want. That's the thing. I decided and said, hey, this is something I'm good at. This is something that I like doing. I like drawing. I like painting. Doing characters, like, regardless of who it is. You get to have this level of freedom to do whatever you want. Like, you can basically put yourself in that world and think, let that imagination run wild. That's what's freeing about art, is that you get to play around and do something out of your comfort zone, out of any zone in general. You get to play around with the concepts. You get to play around with the posing. You can play around with the backgrounds. You can take that character and twist it. Now, granted, you have to be very, very, very careful, because as an artist, I know this for a fact. There are legal issues if you're doing other people's stuff. um, that you will run into. It's not as apparent with fan art, which is something that I'm kind of doing right now, in a certain extent, even though it's still like a print that I could probably sell at a Comic-Con and stuff like that, if I can, you know. But basically, you basically can do. Trying to think. You have to have a balance, and it's great. Doing art, doing any type of art, is amazing. It's so fun. Now sometimes it can be boring. Like, if you're watching it, understandable. It can be boring. I know that for a fact. But sometimes it also can be great. Like, some people love watching it. Some people think it's amazing. Seeing somebody do something, you're like, wow, I want to do that. And that's awesome, because that gives you the inspiration to say, you know what, I think I might try that. And that's what's always freeing for me as an artist, to inspire, to show people that, hey, guess what? If I can do it, you can do it too. And you don't have to be the best artist. You just have to be you. You can find your own style. You can find whatever it is you like doing, and find the medium that you like, whether it's painting or using like markers, inking, using whatever medium you want, and just sticking with that and doing something amazing that and that can get you a career. Now, granted, you know, you don't have to be good. Like you don't have to be, like, when I say you don't have to be good, you do have to be good, but you don't have to be perfect, because perfection is not a thing. Perfection is in the eye of the beholder, and from my personal experience, nobody's gonna get anywhere. Because people always say, "Oh, that looks perfect." And I've had that done to me personally, and sometimes it can be personally gratifying, of course, but sometimes it can be in between, because you personally run into this thing of like, well, if everything I do is good, and you do something bad and somebody says, well, this looks like crap, and you won't know how to handle it. So it's okay to be critical, and it's okay to get the criticism, because don't be mad when somebody says, hey, you need to work on this. Trust me, as an artist, I've been doing this for years, and for me, I've gotten my fair share of criticism. I've had friends criticize some stuff, and it's actually helped me. I'm not much of a comics guy, like, I read comics, but I've never taken to drawing them. You know, I've never got that opportunity, or never had that in my belt. But a friend of mine, a brilliant, great artist herself in her own right, uh, was talking. She said, "Hey, this comic you did, like, here's some things with it. Like, too many panels. You won't be able to tell what's going on. The stuff like that." And you know, and I was like, "Okay, I get that. Like, you have to be able to take criticism. Like, when if somebody, you have to find a balance between criticism and the haters. And if you take every criticism as somebody hating on your work, then there's not going to be much room for you in the art form, because not everybody is out to get you. I'm sorry. I've had to learn that lesson the hard way. And personally, sometimes it can be kind of annoying and hard to deal with. But it still can be pretty fun, just understanding not everybody's out to get you, but it's still great to see people actually say, give you advice and actually help out. I know that there was 3 people in here, and I think I got to that part, and I think they just like left. They was like, "Nope, screw this shit, I'm out." Which, I am sorry for the rants. Sometimes I'm just very opinionated, and sometimes it shows. So yeah. Uh, but basically, what I'm trying to say is sometimes you have to find a balance between, uh, basically finding the balance between, because I don't want to be too opinionated and go on a rant and then turn people off of the stream, because this is just supposed to be me working on this piece here, which is pretty amazing, or at least trying to be. uh but basically, what my main point and drive was, like, deciphering criticism from hate. Yes, peaches, peaches, pieces. Yes, Mr. X. Also, I love that name. I'm a big fan of Resident Evil myself, so I love that name. Yes, peaches. Yes. Peaches, peaches, peaches. Hello there. Yes, hello. Welcome. The Obi-Wan time. Hello there. Let's see. I am right now trying to render some details with the dress. Make sure the side parts, the puffy parts, are a little bit they're the right color, I should say. uh, let's see. Well, that was cool. Um, I think I'm almost done. I still have the face to do, a little bit more blending on the dress part. I think what I'll do is I'll keep this one still dark, and because the light is going to the shoulder pad through this way, it'll be lighter on this side. So that adds some more depth of feel, which painting in retrospect is pretty hard. I'm using a mixture of watercolor and dried gouache paint, which I'm gonna say it right now. Try typing that into Google is a pain in the butt. Gouache paint is because it is not spelled how you think it is spelled. It's complicated, but let's just say it's pretty fun to use. It's like a dried it's a watercolor mixed acrylic. It has the movability of watercolor, but the solidness of an acrylic, but without the muddiness. I'm using the dried version because I find it to be easier, and I get to work within a palette, which is something I'm more used to. I'm not much use. I don't use, what is it called? I don't use tubes a whole lot, at least for me. So I find using palettes to be easier, and I can basically. So this is the dried gouache palette that I'm using, and then I have the an older watercolor palette that I've been using for forever, and I haven't got rid of it because it still has some. The old girl still has some life left in her. But basically, I use I use a mixture of these. So for me, it's pretty fun. I'm actually, what I'm gonna plan on doing is maybe selling these as prints at a con. So I have others. I did Dante, I think yesterday. Nathan Drake from Uncharted the day before. Uh, I do a mixture of like art content, video game streams if I can. Well, I and occasional just one-off videos if I feel up for it, and I leave it up to the community on the channel, which is always pretty fun. Uh, so yeah, I'm probably gonna do another print later. It's either do this or work on a poster, which I don't know. What's the best drawing you've ever drawn? Um, that one is a difficult question because I've done a lot of drawings. I've done a lot of stuff. I've done, funny enough, when I first started painting, now, and this is granted, I did mainly, my main thing was doing posters. And I don't know. I was very happy with a Devil May Cry one that I did when I was younger, and I was also happy with one that I still have to this day, and I'm planning on remaking it. And granted, I was young, so sometimes your perception of like this is the best work you've ever done can change. For me, I think I've done so much and I've gotten accustomed to doing stuff. I wouldn't say any work I've done is the best. I think, the more you do it, the more you go along. You find a footnote where you can say, "Hey, this isn't too bad. This is something this is pretty good." Like for instance, I think I the original concept I did an Arkham poster. This is when I first started painting. I'm gonna move this over here just for a second to show you what I mean. And this is when I first started. And there's a lot of cool elements to it. This is something I was happy with at first, but I never finished it because I started to see all the flaws in it. And as of recently, I was like, well, why don't I just remake it? Why don't I do like something with more experience? And so I decided, and I haven't finished it, but yeah, I have 44 frames graphics right now. Yeah. Is it on the stream? Is it kind of laggy, or is it just something? Sorry, sometimes I can get confused. If it's not on the stream, then it's not like okay. I was like, I wanted to make sure because sometimes I've had problems with the streams before where they've dipped down in quality, especially the gaming ones. Because I think I was playing. I don't know why. Yeah, it's all right. To be honest, I think the last gaming stream I did, I think it crashed on me. So I have to be certain. I'm actually thinking about at some point doing a Resident Evil print too, since I've already done Dante from Devil May Cry, and I think I did. Yeah, I did. Actually, I'll be right. I actually have it somewhere. Let me go grab it, and I can show you what I'm talking about, so you're not confused. They're right here. Also, if you're wondering what that noise is, extremely sorry. That would be somebody vacuuming upstairs. So yeah. Let me show you this. So this is the Dante print I did for Devil May Cry 5 Dante. I don't hear it. Oh, well, that's good. This is something I worked on I think yesterday. Did a little bit of a stream working, finishing that, and then there is Nathan Drake from Uncharted over here. Looks sick. Thank you. I'm starting to do more solo prints, so at some point what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these copied, which is gonna cost me an arm and a dozen, which kind of sucks. But then again, ink wise or colored ink wise, kind of makes sense why they would freaking make you pay so much. So hopefully I can make it back once if I can get like a booth or a thing at an art show somewhere locally. Try selling them, see how well it does. I'm gonna keep the originals obviously because got to have something to make sure that goes well. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I love doing art stuff and painting and stuff. So for me, it's I've kind of tried to do a mixture on the channel. I want to it's hard to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So you have to have a with this channel, it's been a balance where I've tried to do like stuff for everybody and also stuff for myself. So it's in between there. So far this is coming along kind of well. I think all I really need to do is finish up the face, and I think do the crown, a little bit more of the hair. I think it'll be pretty much done. I'm actually surprised. Actually, funny enough, this was a suggestion from a sub of mine. She's pretty cool. She was the one who suggested I do Princess Peach, and then I did a short of it, and like in split minute and a half, it got like it was real popular. So I was like, well, gosh darn, I might as well. I still haven't finished it, so I thought I'd do it live. So this has actually been pretty fun to do. I'm not a big avid. Can I suggest you something? Yeah. I take suggestions all the time. So for me, I don't personally mind. The only caveat is like as long as it's not overly complicated or like inappropriate or something, then I'm okay. Which I'm pretty flexible. I'll pretty much try anything or do anything. So yeah, you're all well and good. Well, what would you want me to draw Pikachu? I'll do that. Funny enough, I'm gonna be right on honest with you. My sister is a big Pokemon fan, so that was like going to happen eventually. But I'll just for that, I think I'll mark it up on the schedule. So yes, I will definitely do Pikachu. That is on the list. It's been bumped up now. So I probably won't get to it today. So, but if stay tuned, and when I do it, you'll let me know how I did. I will definitely be doing it. Because actually, I think Pikachu was a big. I think he was probably one of my sister's favorite Pokemons. Okay, yeah. He was probably the one she loved the most out of pretty much any of the ones. Now, granted, I didn't grow up really watching a whole lot of Pokemon and stuff. I think I watched as a kid. I grew up with like the Vortex cartoons and stuff like that. I grew up with a lot of different, like a lot of stuff. So for me, I was a 2000s kid. So I grew up with a lot of like stuff like from cartoons to movies and stuff like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I think Danny Phantom was around, Ben 10, and stuff like that. So for me, I was in between. Like I grew up with it a little. Grew up with a lot of like the different shows and stuff. I'm trying to remember. I grew up with a lot of stuff, so like I'm trying to remember what stuff came out. Because I want to make sure I get my facts straight. Let's see. I know there was a lot of underrated movies that came around that as when I was a kid that I enjoyed, and then a lot of people started to enjoy later that didn't. I know Treasure Planet was awesome. It was really relatable for me as a kid. I'm trying to remember some of the stuff. I know later in life, I think in my teens, I think Gravity Falls came out, and that was my favorite show ever. Uh, and then now I think it's Gravity Falls, Amphibia, Owl House, which is another one of my favorites. Uh, it's hard to find modern shows that you can get attached to and like. I grew up. I didn't. I watched a lot of stuff as a kid, and I still do now. So I try to keep up to date with some things, but it's hard to find the good stuff, like the stuff that actually is worth it. A certain extent. Even movies nowadays, like now, it's just been a dip in quality, in my personal opinion. Now, this is my opinion. If, you know, it's hard to have an opinion nowadays. But yeah, that's just me. Um, Granted. Um, but I'm trying to remember what was it. I'm trying to remember. There was some other shows I grew up with. X-Men Evolution, Static Shock, Justice League Unlimited, the original X-Men, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal, uh, Sonic X. There we go. I was thinking of what show did I grow up with that I really enjoyed, and now I remember it was Sonic X. Oh man, Sonic X was probably the show that, like, even though I wasn't a big anime kid, I never grew up with it, and it's not that I didn't like it, I just didn't connect with it. Sonic X was the only exception. I tolerated Yu-Gi-Oh, even though I could not play that game, but I tolerated it and I enjoyed it. But I think what was it? Sonic X was my favorite show, and that theme song. Every time that theme song came on, I was like singing the words. It was probably one of my favorites. Um, I grew up with it a lot. I grew up with a lot of the stuff. Sadly, Saturday morning cartoons are just kaput. They're gone. Like CW stopped doing those. I think I was still around my teens when they stopped doing them, and they just said they got rid of them, which sucks. Because I really loved the Vortex Saturday morning cartoons. Because you had, I think you grew I you had Transformers. You had, I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I sound so old right now. I sound so old. Um, just talking like, now back in my day, there was this, that, and the other. No, I just, there was a lot of shows that I grew up with that I really enjoyed as a kid. Um, and it's hard to find that stuff now. So it's like I love the old nostalgia stuff because I remember I've did you watch Cars as a kid? Yeah, I did. I actually did love. I watched Cars. Um, I watched Bugs Life as a kid. Like a lot of the Pixar movies, like around the 2000s when they first came out, I was real young, so like I remember going to go watch them or having them in the house, like Monsters Inc. Some original Disney classics too. And then we got a few sequels that were terrible. That were not terrible, but like they were just not as good. Um, but yeah, I did watch Cars. Cars 2, I remember being younger when that came out, and God, like the some stuff was okay. I like some of the stuff, but then there's a lot that was just kind of like, it was like, it was just kind of like I didn't connect with it as well. I think it was just kind of like, for me, it was just eh. But yeah, I watched Cars. I think I remember Incredibles too as a kid. That was another one. That was my favorite. I think that was probably one of my favorite movies ever. I really loved Frozone. He was one of those characters I really liked. I thought Dash was great. Um, I had a friend who was a big fan of Cars. Yeah, I don't blame him. That movie was pretty cool. I didn't care much for the music as a kid because I didn't like some of the country stuff. Because I wasn't a big country music kid. I just didn't like it. Just wasn't my thing. No offense to people who do like that stuff. I just didn't. But there's a lot of songs I did like. And there was a lot of stuff moments that were pretty cool. I grew up like I more loved the soundtrack from, I think, Ratatouille, and I think it was Monsters Inc. I think Monsters Inc. was my favorite Pixar soundtrack just because I loved jazz music as a kid. I don't know what it was, but I loved the jazzy, opening moments where I was just kind of shaking my head to it, where I really liked it as a kid, just bobbing my head back and forth. It was like, it was a surreal experience. um, I think, for real or for true, I think my favorite movie was, I think, Aladdin as a kid. I think, God, I miss Robin Williams, man. I miss that. I miss him. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was a comedian that I really adored. He was the genie. In my eyes, no one could ever replace Robin Williams. I don't. I'm just. I think, like, he had, not only did he have charisma, but he had the voice to sing. He was like, he was probably the best part of the movie for Aladdin. I think that it was just real good. It was probably my favorite part. Um, and I think, like, just in, like, retrospect, just of I think all the movies that I remember watching as a kid, I'm trying to remember. I know Brother Bear, there was Lilo and Stitch. I'm trying to remember. There were so many because I was like a 2000s kid. So, like, I grew up with there was a lot of crappy stuff, and then there was a lot of good stuff. So it's like, there was a lot of in betweens there. At least for me, I'll say that it was. Shoot. I think there was a lot of, like, I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of stuff. Like, I remember watching Cars. I think just a little bit. This is also around the time VHS was still around, which now you see that stuff at, like, Goodwills and stuff, and it's just like, I remember getting this stuff a lot. Now it's just sitting collecting dust. But no, I thought it was kind of funny. Like, now you just see that VHSs are just like, I'm trying to think. I think they're just out. So, yeah, I know I sound old. Like, I sound like I'm real old now, but yeah. Right now I'm just doing a minor background. I'm trying to remember the stages for, like, the Mario stuff. How old are you? Um, I'm in my I'm around 20, so I'm not too old, but not too young. I'm in my 20s, so for me at least. Um, Yeah, I know. It's weird. He's kind of like, oh, you're not that old. But you're all good on asking that one. You really sound younger. Yeah, I know. I sound like I'm still a teenager. Uh, but the but my age is the defining thing. That, and I think what's funnier is the my height. I'm 6'4.5" in real life, and I the amount of times I am at a store and somebody asks me, "Do I work there?" is funny once, but as I keep going and getting older, it just becomes less funnier because it started when I was a teenager, and now it's just like now it's just like, yeah, I'm old enough to work here, but I don't. um, but you're all good. I don't. I'm not. No offense, and I'm not offended by that. I know. I know because I sound younger because I have actually went back when I've edited recordings and stuff, and I've listened to my own voice, and it sounds like I sound like a very much a squeaker. Um, sound like one of those kids you would hear on Fortnite when they're raging. Yes, thank you. uh, but yeah. uh, but yeah, you're all good. Oy. It's funny. I sound young, but I'm very much older than how I sound, and it's even funnier when you take into question all the things I've brung up and you think of how much knowledge I have. Like when it comes to music, oh boy, that topic is funny enough as it is. Just because of like you bring up music with me, I will bring up every rock band and every freaking band I know because I'm a big rock nerd and metalhead. And I will and that music nut. So for me, it's just like um, I will. I really love music. So like for me, like I'm a big music person. We will rock you. Hello, FNAF Fox or Mel. I sorry, I do not want to butcher that, but yeah, hello. Yes, we will rock you. Yes, Queen. Queen, yes, that's another one I love. That's another band I love. Yes. Uh, uh, trying to remember. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. I am so sorry. I know that was Roxy, but it said and it's like Foxy. It's like a play on that, and I'm so sorry. Because I have friends who love FNAF, and I always manage to screw up something. uh, so and I really do appreciate you saying hello. Hopefully you're doing well too. But yeah, um, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, like We Will Rock You. Queen was in one of my favorite bands. I think there was. I'm trying to remember. Soundgarden, Styx, Scorpion, Def Leppard, Rat, Poison, 3 Days Grace, Skillet, Incubus. Let's see. Trying to remember. Oh, there's so many bands. AC/DC. There was Smash Mouth. There was. Oh, there's so many. I just grew up with a lot of different music, and I was like a big rock kid, like a big old headbanger, if you, so to speak. Um, I grew up with a lot of rock stuff. So for me, it was like uh in between. Uh, I I think I'm trying to remember. There were so many bands. And then there was like some jazz stuff. So like Purple Rain. I'm trying to remember. I know there was Prince. And then there was Stevie Wonder. There was some old Chicago. There was another one, and there's some other jazz stuff I grew up with. Um, and then I also like I played like some of the old school games. So like you remember like all the pixel stuff, the pixelized games. Like I played a little bit of that as a kid. So when arcades were still a thing, so like basically you had Galaga you could play, or you can play the original Mario or Donkey Kong on like a arcade machine. I remember playing that stuff. Now, granted, I sucked at it, and I am not ashamed to admit I sucked. But it was actually pretty fun as a kid to play. Uh, play those style of games. You know, uh, Granted, you know, you had your fair share of like, as long as you had enough quarters and actual money, you can like play for like hours, I think. Um, like you could just do, I think you could just have so much fun. Yes, peace. Uh, but yeah, like I just remember a lot of the stuff that I did. Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh man. Like nowadays, like I've like I play a lot of games. I've actually I have like friends who are into a lot of different stuff. Like one of them's a big FNAF fan. I've seen it play. I haven't played any of the games personally. Like I mainly just due to lack of time, lack of, and it's not really a lack of interest. I'm not really a big horror person myself, but I do see the appeal of the games, and they look pretty fun. Granted, they're not very fun if you're a senior, because it's a good way to have a heart attack. But, um, but let's say it's still pretty okay, and you can kind of have fun with it. Plus, I think Security Breach looked pretty cool. Like, it had a lot of cool, interesting character designs. Granted, I haven't had the time to uh, work on doing one of them, or painting any of them or any of that. Uh, but I might do it in the future. I think it'd be fun. uh, I personally I grew up with a lot of games that I played on the old school 360 and later in life PS4 and now PS5. Um, my games were more single player stuff, and more stuff that I enjoyed as a kid or as a teenager and stuff. So like the Arkham games, Sly Cooper, Infamous, let's see, Prototype. Um, I think I played the Left for Dead demo a little bit on the 360. Um, Trying to remember. uh, Personally, I played GTA SA. Yeah, San Andreas. I think I never. Here's the thing. I had friends who were big GTA players. They really loved it. They played it nonstop. Me, I was the only one out of the entirety, probably the best game I've ever played. Uh I just never could get into it. I never I never could. I think it was just me. It was just a me thing. It was fun. Like I tried playing it with them. I just never could get like it wasn't as appealing to me. Like especially when I was younger, I think it was just like I think it was a mixture of like the controls and just n- not clicking. Like granted, like everybody has stuff they like, like I played a lot of stuff as a kid. So for me, it was just like there was always something else out there that I found more appealing, and it was a me thing. Just like it was a me thing because I there was games that I liked that they didn't, and they had trouble with, and they had the same issues that I was having. So it was kind of like it was an in between thing on a multiple scale front, um, where I think I'm trying to remember. Like even now, I think now that like I'm on PlayStation, like there's games that I'll play that I'm pretty sure like not a lot of people enjoy. Like then there's the fair share of people that do. Like I'm not gonna say everyone. But like Uncharted, let's see, Alan Wake's pretty okay. Not a lot of people, in between on that front. Because I don't want to cast judgment. Let's see. I just grew up with a lot of different games that I personally thought were good. Uh, I really loved the Arkham games as a kid, or when I was a teenager, or when I was younger. The only caveat is I played them in opposite order. Not even in opposite order. I played them in a very weird order. I got City first. Then I went back, found out, oh, Arkham Asylum was the first one. Okay, I'll go play that. Then our Origins came out, and then I had and it already was out before that, and then I eventually got Night later in life. So I played them in a weird order: City, Asylum, Origins, Night, and I played two in reverse order, and I always was. It was very weird as a teenager because I was like, it was very confusing. But for me personally, that's just how I roll. But regardless, I'm just the irony though. Uh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I guess I think there was a lot of great games. Like I just never clicked as much with GTA. I guess and there's nothing insulting about it. Like it's a great game. Trust me. Believe me. I've dabbled in it. I've played it a little, but I'm not as a big player in the front as like some people. Um So I'm not hating the game. I'm not saying it's crap. I'm just saying it wasn't my personal cup of tea. But it's a great game regardless. So I can say that much. Um, what else? I think this is almost done. I still have like a minor background I'll have to do. I'll do like a mixture of like a purplish blue. But first, I'm gonna try to finish up Peach's face, and then I think I'll try to work on something else after. It's okay. Yeah. Uh, I think the one game that I'm most excited for, and I can't wait for it to come out this October, is Marvel Spider-Man 2. I cannot wait for that game to come out. I loved the first one. I loved Miles Morales. I I just really love those games. Those games were awesome. So for me personally, I really enjoyed it. Uh, I and I'm also hoping that we'll get an announcement for Separate Ways for Resident Evil 4 remake because I've been playing that. I haven't. I need to stream it again, which I probably will soon. I'll probably do that today. I'll probably try to stream that later. Uh, I still have to do like sketching for like some more prints. But in between, I'll do you know, I'll say I'll say this. Say what you want about the remakes. There's not the I will say this, there's not an ounce of the terribleness to the idea that they're not fun. Like they are pretty darn fun to play and just do stuff in. Uh and like I think like I know that there's some people like you have your communities out there that are real toxic and they're just like I'm trying to remember. They're just very. It has to be the way it was. Those people, I kind of ignore them because I don't want to say I can't stand them. Like they're entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, that's the wrong opinion," because you see enough of that as it is. But like, eh. So I'm almost done with this. I just need to finish up the face, and I think I'm gonna be pretty much golden. I will say, if you're wondering about why the chat sometimes it'll say when like people are watching. Usually, I'm used to this by now. I don't really get a whole lot of viewers or subscriber. Like I have a few. Like I'm in the hundreds, but not like too high. I don't really get a whole lot of attention on the streams. I don't get a whole lot of interaction. I'm just gonna be really honest. I'm used to it. I'm pretty much kind of accepted that. Uh, but yeah, for me, yeah, that's pretty much like a given. It's been that way for God, for a while now. But I'm hoping to eventually get more attention and more interaction like this. I think Twitch is better to stream on. Yeah, it can be, but I personally, that would be kind of closing out all the people that are more on this platform. And then also, that would also run, I also have to figure out how to set up an account. And then I would have to figure out doing all this other stuff, which I feel like nowadays it's really, it's very difficult and complicated to really do. Like it's hard to get those it's hard to really even for videos that I do, like it's part of the reason I started streaming the games and stuff is because like when I would do walkthroughs or something or just kind of try to do it, like they wouldn't even get much attention. So I was kind of like, yeah, nobody in the channel wants to watch this and so why do walkthroughs? I'm just gonna do I'll just stream the game so it has more of an interaction with my community and more with me. But plus it's a lot more fun for me at least because I get to talk to people and like look at the chat and like they get to interact with me and vice versa. I try to like have a balance. Like what the channel is for is like mixture of art and games, and it's been difficult to find a balance, but I think I'm getting kind of close to having that balance that I'm happy with, where shoot, you know, uh maybe you'll think about it. Maybe in the future. Right now, I'm not really too popular enough to where even if I went to Twitch, I probably wouldn't get that much attention. So, granted, maybe if I get higher in subscribers, more people find the channel, more people sub, more people like, more people pay attention. I might do more stuff on another platform. Maybe, in the future. But I would first have to get up there and subscribers and stuff like that before I do that. So it's kind of like an in between thing of like just basically already, you know, I have considered it. Trust me, I've considered it heavily. I just there's just been a lot of benefactors where I thought, even if I did, there's like this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing over here, that and over there, and that. Sorry, I have a terrible sense of humor sometimes, but yeah. But it has been something that I've considered. I just I'm not as popular to where I think I should. So that's just been another benefactor that slowed the process down. To I'm not as popular. Like I'm kind of like a relatively newish channel, kind of. So for me, let's just say the thing for doing you know so far it's coming together. I'll say that much. It's not too bad. Honestly, I just found out that you can stream on shorts on YouTube. I did not know that. Only reason my camera is like this is just because I'm just using my phone to stream because I don't have like a webcam or a computer or any of that. So I guess this kind of is considered like a stream shorts. I don't know. Yeah, you're all good. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe. I really don't know. I mean, I can scroll. Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. I don't like to be one of those YouTubers, but it could help. Maybe get me a. You know where I'm probably gonna go with this conversation, but if you want to, you can. No force. No, you don't have to. But hey, it would help me out if you did. But I do appreciate it. Oh. if you'd like to, you can, share with friends and la di da di da. Maybe might get me up there. Who knows? I personally would appreciate it because the YouTube algorithm sucks. I know you hear that a lot, but as a YouTuber now myself, I always heard that a lot. But then I started doing this stuff, and then I realized, yeah, it definitely does suck. They were not kidding. So yeah. They were not kidding. So far, at least it's coming together. I'll say that much. And it's almost done. Which, yippee. Let's put this over here. There. Scatter the shadowing a little bit. And then probably go in with more detail on the dress once I'm done with the face. I think if you upload on a schedule, you could get more viewers. Yeah. Not sure if it's true. Yeah, I've actually been like thinking about doing that because like my problem is I'm just very scatterbrained. So for me, it's hard to keep me on point. So like what I think what I'm gonna do is do like a schedule. I'm gonna probably start it in like September, where it's like just like art stream this day, game stream this day, this stuff. But the problem with doing that is like I also run into the idea of like some stuff just like not like people not want like caring or just like me, you know. It runs. I run into problems, but then I can easily solve them. It's like I don't care. I'm not gonna keep being a pessimist. Screw that. But yeah, I think it is almost done. Just needs a little bit more work, and I'll put a little bit more skin tone in places. Ah, fudge. No, I can cover that up. Stinking thing. Well, it's a good thing I can do like a thing to cover that up. See, even as an artist, I've been doing this for years. I still make the same mistakes I made for a long time. Fudge. I will say when it comes to characters, the smaller, tighter brushes are the ones I use the most. Just because I find them to be they come more in handy. Um, and they really make some things work. Let's see. So I have to put more detail into the dress. I am used to the whole thing of like the somebody will watch for a second and then just they'll immediately leave. I'm gonna say it right now. That stuff can get annoying. So if you ever make sure you have the temperament for it, because after a while it starts to get to a point where it's like, for fuck's sakes. It can get frustrating, but hey, I'm used to it by now, so it's not too bad. It's really kind of frustrating, but when you just have to sometimes get your temper accustomed to people doing that. Yes, it's gonna suck. Yes, it's gonna be infuriating. Most always, but hey, it's probably the closest thing you're gonna ever get to like just Fane. You know, like if you're just going, it's just gonna happen. It's best to kind of just let it go. And I've also got accustomed to just figuring this stuff out as I go. It's fun to do. So for me, especially doing these little prints, doing Princess Peach here, it's actually fun to do this in a painted style because I get to also get to play around with the, let's say, the look and the details. So for me, I'll say this: I get to play around even with the background and make sure and make sure everything goes according to plan. Because I know that you can just really mess around and have fun with some of the background and just do these, because quality over quantity. I can basically make sure that it's real detailed and I didn't rush anything. Because that's the thing. If I always make sure, like even with the other two prints that I did, the I think Uncharted one and the Devil May Cry one, which I plan on doing more different prints, but I don't want to rush out prints like stuff for that I can when I get it copied and stuff. I don't want it to look like I slop paint on it and called it a day. I want it to actually have detail. I want it to look well, especially like with like certain characters. You do not want to piss off the fan base for that character. So like for doing like a Mario based one, like I'm doing, like you actually have to like do some research and think, okay, so what do I do here? What do I do here? Sometimes like that's what I'll have to do is like just kind of like take my time and figure out like the detailing and figure out, say, okay, well, what works in this specific case scenario, um and especially if you want to like sell it, like it actually has to have stuff that grabs people's attention. And believe me, as someone who's been painting and drawing for years, sometimes I've ran into this thing uh, where sometimes stuff is not going to grab people's attention if it's not very detailed and it's not very what's the word I'm looking for? It is not. It just, if it doesn't have much to it, it's not going to grab anybody. It's not going to. Nobody's going to buy it. Like, for instance, if you're in a store and you're in an aisle or you're in like whatever you want to get something. What is it about something that grabs your attention? Like if it's a toy, if it's a game, if it's whatever. It has to have something alluring. And sometimes if he doesn't have any of those, like it's the same as an art for an artist, like I have to make sure, like, say, I can't sleep on the job. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yahoo. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Or woman. Sorry, I don't want to assume. But thank you. I really appreciate that. I will. I will. um, yeah, it's you just have to have stuff that grabs people's attention. It's pretty fun too to make stuff. Like I said, drawing, painting, doing art, you know, and compliments like that always make my day. When people notice and like my stuff, it always brightens my day and helps really, you know, boost my confidence a little bit. uh, let's see. I'm gonna try to put a little bit more detail into the boxes at the top here. Don't want to put too much detail, but I want it to have like a little darker shade. I don't want to put too much blue because there has to be like a skyline. But I want there to be enough to where it is like visible that this is like a Mario style level. Yes, yes. The hotness, yes. um, but like I was saying, sometimes you just, as an artist, I've learned that it has to be alluring and it has to grab people's attention. Now, it you have to find a balance between like knowing what you want it to be and like it not having too much but also having enough to where it grabs people and it doesn't look, hastily thrown together or just in general just doesn't look like you just said, well, I wasn't really too interested in this character, so I didn't do much research and I just threw it together. I I always find that to be difficult. Like I don't ever want to do that in any piece. Like for me, I don't know a whole lot about Mario. I've played the games just a bit. I've done some stuff, but I don't know a whole lot. So but I try to remember enough. Do you want to do a do a full time or just a hobby? Full time actually. I wanna do it as a career. I've always wanted to be an artist in like comics or stuff in general. Um, at first, originally, I originally it was just a hobby. It was just like something I was like, I like, but I figured like as I got older, I like started to realize, hey, I could do this as a living. I could make a living from just drawing and doing stuff for people and stuff like that. So I thought, well, why not use my talent to my advantage? Make money doing it. I think it'd be great, like, and sometimes that's all you need is like taking something that you're already good at and using it to your advantage, like, and making that the career that you want to achieve. I think that is always great, um at least in my eyes. Like, now, granted, like, not everybody can do everything, like, but like most of the time, if you can take the thing that you're most good at and you can say put that to a drive and really push yourself to make it a career, that's kind of like what I want to do. I think it's great. It's fun to do. Plus, even if I don't make it really a whole lot of money doing this or and stuff, it's always personally more gratifying for me to see somebody's face and see like something I made for them and see how much they actually enjoy it, and like say, hey, you made this. Like, you made this with your own hands. You painted it and you took hours on it. You didn't just go buy it in a store or something. Um, for me, that's more satisfying than getting a paycheck and working a 9 to 5 or something like that. No, which, if not bad, like my, like, I known people that, do those. But for me, it's not for me. And plus, this is more satisfying and more gratifying for me. Um, it's just like doing this, like drawing, painting. Like, sometimes that also can inspire others to um do the same, like do their own stuff and stuff like that. I think that is more gratifying and satisfying, is seeing what people like leading the charge and inspiring others say, it can be done. You can do it. It might be difficult, it might be hard, it might be, stuff, but learn from my experiences. I've made plenty of mistakes. I've screwed up a lot of times. But guess what? That's how I learned. Like, don't you can do so much. Don't squander, you know, and think you can't. I think the biggest problem for any artist or anybody in general is self confidence and just thinking that because you don't have this, that, or the other, you're just not going to make it. And I think it took me a long while just to say, you know what? Heck with what everybody else says. Heck with what my things in my head say. I can do this. And it just takes that pure determination to snap and say, okay, heck with what all the others say. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, yeah, mistakes make you strong. Exactly. And just that pure determination to not to prove to anybody else but yourself that not only can you do it, but, and to all the naysayers, they're gonna look like utter buffoons. They're gonna look like they're gonna have egg on their face, and they're not gonna want to admit it, but they know that that they were foolish to question you. They were foolish to think it couldn't be done. Like, I've had plenty of people that say, have told me that, I probably won't be able to do it as a career, or I won't be able to do this, or I won't be able to do that. And granted, like, it was, like sometimes the mistakes that you make always are the learning curve. They're what help you out. But the thing is, you know, in a certain extent, that also helps you out as a drive because the more like people try to, pull you down, it also can be used if you're a strong-willed person, which I try to be. um, and sometimes I'm not the best at it, but I try to be strong-willed. Um, to really say, heck with what you guys say, heck with what anybody says. I'm doing this. I think I can. I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say. I can do this. I think that's the most important drive anyone can have. It doesn't matter if it's just for art or it's for sports or it's for this, that, or the other. You know, putting your head out of like the question and putting your heart into it and say, okay, you know what? I think I can do this. There's no question anymore. And at that point, the voices get silent. Everything else becomes background noise, and it's just this. You're left with this pure determination. I can, and that's all it really takes. And that's what it took for me. Is like sometimes, it took me just realizing, you know what? I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I can do this. And guess what? So far, it's actually worked out. Like, granted, I still need to attend the art community college and stuff like that. And if I make a few bumps in the road, that's what happens. Sometimes you learn from those small things. And my personal experience, and this is mine, every artist or any person in any curriculum, whether it's being a doctor or a technical engineer or game designer or whatever, every person has their fair share of hiccups. And believe me, excuse my language, but I've fucked up so many times. I have fucked up so many times, and I've had my fair share of screw ups. The difference is that's how you learn. And there's going to be people that try to drag you down into their troubles and make you feel like you're worth nothing. And I've had people do that. I've had people try to, make you question or make me question, say, maybe I'm not going to make it. Maybe that. And that's the thing, is like not to let those voices in. And I've had to really learn and push myself to get away from those types of people, or not be around them. Like sometimes I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes those type of people can keep you leveled, where you don't develop a freaking ego. Because I've met people that have developed egos once they get so successful and stuff, or they think they do. As long as you don't develop an ego, you're pretty much set. Like, it's okay to be doubtful. It's okay to to question yourself, but you just have to have a balance of being kind of in between, where you're personally satisfied with doing the stuff that you're doing and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I sound like I'm going on a rant, but I've had a lot of personal experience, a lot of stuff that's I've had to deal with in my personal life. And I think, I guess I've learned from a lot of mistakes and a lot of stupid stuff that has happened with me personally. So Yeah, I've had my fair share of hiccups. Um, uh, I think besides the crown, I think I might do a little bit of white into the other side of the background. Hold on. Just a little bit. Yeah, I've had my fair share, at least for me. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I think it's almost done. Just needs a little bit of work on the crown. But I can do that off camera or do it in a short, or I can do it now. Who knows? Don't forget to sign it when you're done. Yeah. I signed the other ones. I won't. I never forget to sign it. Well, I used to never sign my stuff. It's great so far. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, so far, I hopefully, I might sell it at a con. I hope I might do like some more detailing and stuff. But yeah, I will definitely. I'll finish the crown later. But until then, where should I sign it? Uh, about here. This works. Eh, never been too good at signatures. I don't really use my real name too much on the pieces anymore. Especially since I started this channel. But technically, doing the RM is technically for my real name, so it still counts. The other stuff is just more for posterity. Uh, could I'll probably go over it with a better waterproof. Never been good at signing stuff because I have a bit of dyslexia. So sometimes my writing is awful. I'm a better artist, I think, because of the fact that I cannot write very well, but I'm hella creative. That's the thing. I have the talent to write up to come up with stories, and it's just I cannot write them due to dyslexia. Um, so let me finish the signature right here. Going over it with a waterproof ink might help. Might even add a bit of paint to the signature just to give it a distinct look. I did it with the other ones to add like a highlight effect to it. So because of the pinkish nature of the piece, I think I will do a more, who knows, let's put, plus it might match the what was it, the logo that I have for the channel, like the very spray paint-esque style that I went with, which I kind of like. So I try to, with each of the signatures that I do, I like the idea of it looking like that type of style. Kind of I know it doesn't really need this, the paint, but I think it adds an extra flair to this signature. And I don't think many artists do like a signature, then add a little bit of uh, like a certain amount of flair to the signature afterwards. So far, it is. I never really, if I'm going to sell it, I can't really date it, but yeah. And that is not an H, that is an A. I just freaking tried to connect it with the top bit, but probably didn't go too well. But I think just a little bit of extra. Dang it. Hold on. And I think it's still need to do the crown, but I think I got the piece somewhat done. Compared to the other ones, I think this one, I think it stands out compared to both of these. It's very cool. Yeah, gives me more pieces. I might sell them at a con if I can. The problem with selling them at a con is booths at cons are so expensive, man. I would really love. I mean, I'll probably do the crown now. I would love to sell my work at a con. God darn it, I would love it. But it is so expensive. And I don't even think I would be able to make the money back if for going like doing a con if I did. I think it would be very difficult for me to make the money back for 3 reasons. You know, just like one, having some people don't buy much stuff at cons, and two, prices. I would have to make sure the prices are reasonable, and it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. I think I'll save the jewels because I don't know what the jewels on her crown look like, but I'm kind of just doing the outline for later. If you guys are wondering, I'm recording this on my phone, so who knows what my battery is at. Hopefully my phone does not die. So yeah, that is one downside. Oh boy. Oh boy. On my back, I feel old. uh, that works. I'll probably add some more details off camera and post a picture on the community tab. But so far, I think I got it done. And then I have to do. Let's see, what other prints do I got to do? Bayonetta, Springtrap. That's one. Maybe I could do Spider-Man or Batman. I know I'm definitely gonna do the other Devil May Cry characters, so that's so I'll probably do other prints besides this one, because I think so. At least I have like 3 that I can get copied, and then I can sell. I think this was my favorite one to work on because I love Dante. I love Devil May Cry, so I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for and very cool. Pikachu, I know. You know what? I'll do Pikachu first because I think I'll put Bayonetta last because of the fact. Do you want to know the truth? Bayonetta is so hard to do because of her different designs. If I'm definitely gonna do Pikachu. Trust me, because I'm glad you made that suggestion. I'm just gonna I'm gonna put Bayonetta off because of her design is so complicated and so difficult. It makes my life a lot harder. Plus the only problem I would have with doing Pikachu would probably just be structural and like stuff. So, well, I probably am going to have to do some stuff, and then I'll probably do a minor short recording here in a bit. I first have to go to the bathroom, so that's another thing. And then I also gotta check on the dogs, and then I'm gonna do something else, and then I'm gonna work back on some sketching and all that. But I will definitely do Pikachu. That will be the next one up, and then after that it'll be Springtrap. So hopefully, fudge. I think no, I take that back. Springtrap will be next to last. I want to do Leon or I want to do the Capcom characters first because I am a Capcom nut. I love the Devil May Cry games and I love the Resident Evil games. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Nero, Virgil, and then I'm gonna do Leon and whoever from like the Resident Evil games, and after that, and then I'll save like Springtrap or any of those guys for later. So, well, thank you everybody, like Yahoo, Foxy, Mr. X, everybody for joining the stream. Thank you, and thank you for liking and chatting with me. Hope to get to see you guys maybe in another art stream that I'll be doing. Working on another print, maybe. You guys can keep up to date. Okay, bye. See ya. If you want, make sure to subscribe if you guys want to see more. Crap. Me finish more prints, or work on posters, because I do have posters that I do painted posters. So I have this one for Amphibia. If you want to see that, I will be doing. Yeah, I already did. Well, thank you. That means a lot. If you want to see me do posters, because I have tons of those. Because I have. You keep up to date. So, well, till next time. Peace out and bye-bye. See ya.